Body camera. The greatest revolution in police history. Before and after. Hello friends, I'm Officer Alex. I've been a police officer for 8 years, and today I'm going to tell you about what is perhaps one of the greatest technological revolutions in police history. Body cameras. These small devices are not just an accessory, but also a lifesaver, and they have fundamentally changed many things in this profession. They protect us police officers from false accusations and help us strengthen professional standards among us. Today I will compare the periods before and after body cameras using scientific data. The history of body cameras is not very old. In fact, they can even be considered new. The first modern police body camera was tested for trial purposes in 2005 in the Devon and Cornwall regions of England. There is no need to exaggerate. It was obvious that cameras would start to be used in this way. Especially as cameras began to shrink, they started to become more functional. It wasn't a dramatic start. Just a few police officers went on patrol wearing small cameras on their chests. Actually, the real story in the U.S. began in 2012, 7 years after its first use. The first pilot programs were launched in the cities of Mesa, Phoenix, Arizona, and Rialto, California. But the real turning point came in 2014 with the incident in Ferguson that caused a huge public outcry. After that incident, demand for body cameras skyrocketed. The Obama administration announced a $263 million body camera fund in 2014. By 2016, $75 million had been spent to provide cameras to 50,000 police officers. According to 2016 data, 80% of large police departments were using body cameras. Of course, it took some time for them to spread to smaller cities, and some very small cities still don't use them, but I think that's a big mistake. When I started working in 2017, it was already standard equipment. Right now, every patrol officer in our department has a body camera. The pre-body camera era, the he said, she said era. The period before 2012 was challenging in terms of evidence because everything that happened during that time was based on police reports. This meant that it was very difficult for both the police to prove their case and for citizens to prove their complaints against the police. Stories I heard from older police officers. When a citizen complaint came in, Internal Affairs was faced with nothing more than the officer's word against the citizen's word. In Chicago at that time, 97% of police complaints were dismissed due to insufficient evidence. False accusations problem. Police officers were receiving numerous complaints based on false and unfounded allegations. It was difficult to prove many things, such as excessive use of force, based solely on statements. For this reason, many police officers were being ostracized by their colleagues simply for doing their job. At the police academy, scenarios were only theoretical and role-playing. We had no opportunity to examine real field encounters. And of course, a few examples from real life. Court proceedings. Prosecutors had to rely solely on police reports. Defense attorneys constantly questioned the credibility of the police. Since 2017, there are days when I never take off my body camera, only removing it to charge it. It has made an incredible difference. Even as a police officer, I feel safer now. Thanks to my camera, I can easily defend myself against false accusations and even file a counterclaim. The Campbell Systematic Review 2021 examined 30 studies and found that body cameras reduced citizen complaints by 16.6%. You may find this number low, but it is very valuable to us as police officers, and in fact, the low number also shows that over 50% of police complaints are completely fabricated. Las Vegas Metro 2017, a randomized controlled trial supported by the National Institute of Justice. A study conducted on 400 police officers found that those who used body cameras received fewer complaints. This is actually due to both citizens and police officers being more cautious because they are aware of the camera's presence. This shows that the situation is two-sided. Police officers with cameras are more cautious while performing their duties, and citizens are also more cautious because they know they are being recorded. Protecting yourself from false accusations. My personal experiences. In 8 years, I have been cleared of false accusations at least 30 to 40 times thanks to body cameras. And perhaps smaller issues ended before they escalated. The most dramatic example, in 2019 I conducted a traffic stop, suspicion of driving under the influence. The woman later made a serious allegation of misconduct regarding my conduct on duty, claiming that I had made an unprofessional request. The body camera recording showed the entire 2-hour encounter. Sobriety test, professional conduct, proper procedure. The accusation was dismissed, and the woman's lawyer later withdrew the claim. Another example? A domestic dispute call. The man accused me of excessive use of force. "The police beat me for no reason," he said. The body camera footage clearly showed that the man was physically resisting me and that I used minimal force. Education revolution. Body camera recordings are being used in training. The Miami Police Department has been doing this since 2012. By reviewing real scenarios, feedback is provided to both rookie officers and experienced officers. It's actually a great real-life library for a police officer's training. For example, I learned from these videos that I always need to be alert because risks can change quickly. I review my own recordings and see my mistakes. It gives me the opportunity to improve myself, thinking, I could have communicated better here, or my positioning was wrong here. Decrease in use of force. Objective data. University of Chicago Crime Lab, 2021. Police use of force decreased by 10%. Miami-Dade County. Police officers' use of physical force decreased by 19%, and use of force legal cases decreased by 74%. RAND study. When cameras are kept on throughout the entire shift, force usage decreases even more. Prosecutors can now rely on video evidence. Plea bargain rates are increasing because defendants surrender when they see the video recording. Even if they don't confess, their confession is not needed because the video recording exists. Defense attorneys can no longer attack police credibility. The video shows it objectively. Investigation speed. Internal investigations are completed much faster thanks to body camera recordings. Negative aspects, honest assessment. Privacy concerns, citizens have privacy concerns. Victims of domestic disputes sometimes do not want to speak on camera. This is because the possibility of being watched frightens them. They feel that the situation they find themselves in is very embarrassing, and I understand their feelings. But these things can happen to any of us. Cost, equipment, storage, and maintenance are expensive. Our department pays $200,000 annually for data storage. This is perhaps the most costly part because cameras hardly ever break down, so maintenance is cheaper, but more memory is always needed. From my perspective, being constantly monitored can be a bit uncomfortable. Mixed research findings, Objective Science, National Institute of Justice Comprehensive Review, 2019. A meta-analysis of 70 studies found no consistent, statistically significant effects. Some studies show significant benefits while others show minimal effects. Context matters. Results vary depending on implementation quality, department policy, and officer training. Personal balance. My opinion. After 8 years of experience, I definitely support body cameras. The advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Protection from false accusations, career saving. Saved me from at least 3 major investigations. Behavior improvement. Both my behavior and that of citizens is more civilized. Evidence quality. I am in a much stronger position in court. Educational value. I can review my own performance. Future impacts. Technology will advance further by 2026. Automatic transcription, facial recognition, controversial, real-time analysis. Federal mandates are increasing. Many states are enacting mandatory body camera laws. Public support, 85 to 89% of Americans support police body cameras. Conclusion, body cameras have created a paradigm shift in policing. We have moved from the he said, she said era to the video evidence era. It is not a perfect solution. There are technical problems, privacy concerns, and cost issues. But the overall impact is positive. It's career-saving technology in terms of protection from false accusations. It also protects citizens by reducing inappropriate use of force. Transparency, accountability, quality of evidence, improvement on every front. Recommendation: every police department should use body cameras, along with proper training, clear policy, and adequate funding. Folks, this technology not only makes our job easier, it also increases public trust. Before body cameras, when a citizen complained about a police officer, it was difficult to find evidence. Now there is objective evidence. This benefits both us and them. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like and share it. If you have any other questions about body cameras, write them in the comments.